सत्य है, सत्य ही शिव है, शिव ही सुंदर है। सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम। एक सूर्य है, एक सूर्य है, एक गगन है, एक ही धरती माता। दया करो प्रभु, एक बने सब, दया करो प्रभु, एक बने सब, सबका एक सी नाता। राधा मोहन शरणम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम। ईश्वर सत्य है, सत्य ही शिव है, शिव ही सुंदर है। सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम। ईश्वर सत्य है, सत्य ही शिव है, शिव ही सुंदर है। सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम।
Why you use so much effects when I microphone? Why you use so much effects when I microphone? Switch.
हरे कृष्ण। सै बोलो हनुमान जी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। सै बोलो हनुमान जी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। सै बोलो हनुमान जी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। सै बोलो हनुमान जी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sitaram, once again, devotees, all special welcome to each and every one of you. Let us have the formal welcome in, which will be done by Sir Pitambara. My humble Sitaram, on behalf of the executive and members of the Rosignol Sanatan Mandir, it is indeed a privilege, for us to welcome all of you at this 33 night dedicated to the reading of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are so fortunate to listen to the message of the Bhagavad Gita by Dev Ji. Dev Ji is born in Canada with roots in Guyana. Completed the Vedanta course in Trinidad in 2014 with Swami Prakashananda. Initially serving at Toronto Ashram, Dev Ji has now been posted to serve and teach full-time at the Chinamaya Mission Guyana. Chinamaya Mission Guyana is currently conducting a Jnana Yajna for 108 days, teaching the entire Bhagavad Gita, a few verses each night. They're going to mandirs all across Guyana, from Crabhood Creek in Borby's quarantine to Essequibo Coast. Tonight is the 33 night of continuous satsang. So, with no further delay, I would like to hand the microphone over to Dev Ji as he delivers from the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. Om Hanumate Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
व्यासेन
ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं
अष्टादशाध्यायिनी
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दतामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचारूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। हरि ओम्। Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om. 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 Hari
Welcome to our Bhagavad Gita Satsang. Bhagavad Gita is a wonderful text, and some of you have been following every night, and some of you are hearing night 33, and where we are, you're just coming right in the middle, right to the beginning. Our Bhagavad Gita is a Shastra, a scripture that has 18 chapters. And we are in, right now, chapter 5 of 18. And great rishis and sages, they break up those 18 chapters into 3 sections. And they say, in general, the Gita has 3 predominant themes. 3 themes. 6 chapters each, adding up to 18, 1 theme each. The first theme is called, technically, as Karma Yoga. Have you heard that word before? Just raise your hand if you've heard it. Oh, okay. The second theme is called Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters, from chapter 13 to 18, is all about Jnana Yoga. Yoga of action, yoga of devotion, yoga of knowledge, if you want to translate into English, but that doesn't really deliver any idea about what it is. So if we're in chapter 5, and the first 6 deal with Karma Yoga, what do you think the topic is going to be tonight? Something to do with Karma Yoga, isn't it? So this gives you a bit of an idea of what's going on. And a little understanding of what is Karma Yoga will help, I think. Which, if you have been following every night, you've been hearing again and again. And that's also nice. To hear again and again the meaning of things, to ask more and more questions about what is being heard. If you've already heard it, you can ask a question and go a bit deeper. So in the word Karma Yoga, there are actually 2 parts. One part is karma and the other part is yoga. And you would have heard both already and have some idea in your mind, isn't it? Karma means action. Karma means action. And you all remember from your school days, an action means some verb. You're doing something. And everybody is engaged in some verb all the time. Right now, you're engaged in countless verbs, if you think about it. First of all, you're sitting. Sitting is a verb. It's an ing, isn't it? You're thinking. You're smiling. Itching. Leaning. Breathing. Thinking. Wishing. Hoping. Imagining. I wonder what they made for bhojan. Imagining. Right? Planning. I'm close to the door, so I'll be first in line. Making schemes. How many ings are involved, right? All of those are actions you're performing at this moment. Various things you could be doing. And one great piece of wisdom that your Sanatana Dharma has offered humanity is the piece of knowledge that goes like this. Every effect has a cause. No, our Sanatana Dharma didn't give that to the world. I learned that in school from science. Every effect has a cause. I learned that in school. But in school they will tell you that is true only for what you call the world we observe. The rishis have revealed, but no. Every effect, meaning and including you. Your, height is an effect, no? It had some cause. Your disposition, if you're a grumpy person or a cheerful person, that's also an effect. That's something that happened in the world. So it has a cause. Your hair color. How long you will have hair. That might already be falling out. All of these are effects that happen in life, isn't it? Whether or not what I'm saying to you right now makes sense or not, that's also something that's happening. It's being caused like that. So the rishis revealed, way before Western science even took hold of this idea of cause and effect, they revealed that this cause and effect includes me. And they studied deeply and went inside and offered to the world the wisdom that, you know what is causing all the different circumstances in my life? It's not the neighbor. It's not the government. It's not where I chose to live. It's not what I chose to do for my job. It's not what my parents did or didn't do. None of that is what's causing it. What is causing it is my own actions. Very interesting thing. If you don't have this idea, this is all action again. See, we come back to action. What is the effect of troubling somebody during satsang? Suppose nobody sees that you juke this person during satsang. Nobody can see. Well, that is a cause, an action, something you did and it has no effect. Nobody noticed. Maybe the person didn't even know. They thought it was a mosquito. Meanwhile, it's you just troubling them from behind. So that will violate the basic simple rule that everything has some impact. If you throw a stone into the still water, it will cause a ripple, isn't it? And now science is saying even there's something called butterfly effect. That a butterfly flapping its wings way in Indonesia is having a ripple effect all the way to Guyana. And that might seem far-fetched. But I learned recently that the sands of the Middle Eastern deserts come across the ocean and land in the Amazon and account for the fertile land. Did you study that in school? So if the Sahara Desert becomes green, then our supply of nutritious material goes down. That will affect the Amazon over here. Things are connected. All things are going on will have some effect. And those are all minor in your life compared to your own actions. Your own actions and my own actions, it is what dictates what I experience later on in life. That's what the rishis reveal. And if you think about it and ask yourself, does it make sense? Think, you will find it is the most intellectually satisfying idea that humanity has ever had to account for why people go through different things. Now, that's not my topic now. And so at a different time, you can ask and think about that. But just to give you a hint on why what I'm talking about here is called law of karma. Have you heard that? Law of karma is what we're talking about. What is the law? So I sow, so I will reap. And every action I'm engaged in will bring some result to me. Just because I cannot see the connection in time between this action and that result, it doesn't mean there's no connection. That happens all the time. They are telling now that according to what the mom is eating and thinking and doing, it's linked to some disease that the child gets in their old age. The mom is gone already. She can't even report what she was thinking, eating, and doing. But this child grows up to be a big man or woman and gets some disease. So things are connected, although we may not see the connection over time. A bamboo has to be planted for 4 years before it grows. Isn't it? Did you know? Some seeds you put down and they shoot tomorrow, like spring onion. And the bamboo has to sit there like it's doing nothing for 4 years before it shoots. But something's happening or not? So we cannot see the connection between the planting and the effect. That's all the source of confusion. But we follow a simple rule. Every effect has a cause. And we just say, I am the cause of what comes in my life. You're not the cause of what comes in my life. Now, many people will say, well, no. I prefer to believe that other people are the cause of what comes in my life. You can believe it, although it doesn't make any sense. And that's a whole different topic. But this is the law of karma. Now, okay, thank you for the science lesson on laws of the universe and all that. But this law of karma brings one big problem to us. The way the universe is wired up, we are going to get some results we like and some results we don't like. And Bhagavad Gita is a discussion between Krishna and Arjuna. I don't know if you knew that. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, although we say it's a Gita, which means a song. Because anytime a guru imparts wisdom to a shishya, a student, in our tradition we call that a Gita. Something which gives joy, like a song gives joy. So Krishna is teaching Arjuna, who is on a battlefield. He's not like in satsang like this. He's decked out in his armor and he's got his weapon, he dropped it. But he was ready to fight. It comes something like, you're dressed up to go to school, and right before you enter your CXC exam, you have pencil in hand, sitting at the desk, you're wearing a uniform, ready to go, and at that moment, that is your battlefield. You have something to do now. You have a fight to fight. Exam time. You're a student, so you're not going to put anybody in a headlock, but you're going to put that question in a headlock. I answer you. Okay, bring the next one. Right? Right at that moment, then you get scared and sad because you realize something overtakes you and you don't like this scenario. Maybe the first question on the paper, well, I skipped that chapter. I didn't think they were going to test me on that. That wasn't on the practice exam. I don't like this. I give up. Put pencil down now. I just wait. So Arjuna put his weapon down. And Lord Krishna now is not going to touch him. He's not going to make any magic happen. He's not going to promise anything. He's going to tell Arjuna, well, he has told him already. So many chapters have gone. Arjuna, stand up. That didn't work. Yelled at Arjuna, this is below you. That didn't work. Now he has to explain to Arjuna why he must fight. And in doing that, Lord Krishna has to tackle man's problem, the human being's problem. And that problem is we don't like certain things in life. And when we get them and they overwhelm us, well, that's it. Sorrow is our problem in life. So the solution for that, Lord Krishna gives in the first 6 chapters, the solution for the fact that we are bound to face sorrow, the solution for the fact that you and I are bound to have sorrow. Now, see, that's just a statement. I don't know if you've thought about that. Suppose somebody in the village has a new baby, and you all want to go and give blessings. Can you say to that joyous mother, I guarantee you your child will be bright? I mean, you can say anything, but can it be true? Who says, yeah, you can, somebody can make that guarantee? No. Okay. Can you say, I guarantee your child will be rich? Or I guarantee your child will be good? Or I guarantee for certain your child will be liked? I guarantee your child will be healthy. Can you guarantee any of these things? Liked, healthy, bright, rich, you cannot guarantee anything. Now let's say the person says, you know what, I guarantee your child will get sick. Is that a fair, true statement? Well, right from birth, isn't it? Gripe. Some problem or the other. You can guarantee we'll get illness. I guarantee the child will get sorrow. Well, yeah, you can. I guarantee the child will cry. Those things you can guarantee, isn't it? Correct or not? So those things in life are for sure. And finally, I mean, nobody will say these things, but the truth is, if there is birth, then there will be. If there's up, there will be. Right. So much so, when Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, describes our life, he calls it as Mrityu Samsara. Samsara means this world that is always changing and moving. But that changing life which is characterized by death. Oh, so depressing. I didn't come to satsang to be depressed. No, this is just a very realistic view of life. And don't worry, Lord Krishna is going to give the most divine and sublime ideas and inspiration that you have ever heard. But he's not going to do it from any wishful thinking place. Really, the fact of life is that we guarantee death and some sorrow and all that kind of thing. And that is called karma bandhana in Sanskrit. That is called what we constantly hear in satsang, in mandir, and in bhajan, on TV. Everywhere you hear this word bondage. You've heard it? Freedom from bondage. Hinduism is about freedom from bondage. What kind of bondage? Everybody's free. The bondage is I'm bound to receive sorrow in my life and I don't like it. This is the key idea. If you don't have sorrow in your life, you have no problem with anything. Just you think right now of your most heavy situation, the thing that bothers you the most. Suppose it is that your neighbor is doing some construction. So you can't sleep and they're making noise and the concrete dust coming onto your tile and all kinds of problems, right? But let me tell you, if you just take that situation and you remove from it only the sorrow part, you remove from it only the sorrow. For the ordinary person, you're renting. That's not your place. Suppose something like that. So the sorrow gone. It's not a problem for you anymore. Now you're like, or suppose you're a heavy sleeper. Not a problem again. It doesn't wake you up at night, all the noise, or in the morning and all that kind of. Point is, if you extract sorrow, the world as it is wonderful actually. Nobody is a problem, nothing is a problem. See, I'll give you proof. Isn't it true that sometimes when you think back to your boyhood or childhood days about how you stubbed your toe and tripped and fell in the trench, you laugh? You laugh about it, isn't it? At the time when it happened, but there wouldn't be anything bigger in life that could have happened to you. And now you're able to laugh. Why? It would have been nice if you could have laughed then itself, isn't it? Because now that's not a problem. For the sorrow from the situation is gone. So even stubbing your toe and falling in the trench is also something too. If you remove sorrow from life, life is fine. In fact, life is amazing. The only problem we all have is sorrow. So, Bhagavad Gita now, and Lord Krishna to Arjuna, is offering a spiritual life as the solution to sorrow. Spiritual life as the solution to sorrow, as opposed to what is called worldly life. Worldly life means I'm going to rely on the world to solve this problem of sorrow. And when a person does that, they open themselves up to tremendous vagaries, ups and downs and worries and death and all kind of things. But for the person who says, no, Lord Krishna, I think you're onto something, For that person, they use this world to evolve and solve the problem of sorrow. Let me tell you, not going to solve the problem of death or stubbing toe or anything like that. The world would still be the world just as it is, but it won't be a problem for you. And because of that, you can do great things and help, but that's secondary. So, spirituality is about what? Using this whole situation to come out of sorrow. It's something like this, if you imagine. You go out there on the cricket pitch, and you, just like every other person, has to go out and perform and score your runs, right? Suppose you're going out first, so you have to lead the batting and open. Or suppose you're going last, or whatever position you like in your imagination. Okay. The worldly person is depending on success in that innings to be happy. And the spiritual person has a different scoreboard over there. So whether they're successful or not, they actually count their points something else. They're playing really on a different wicket altogether. Though they're there doing the same thing, they're measuring whether or not, when I did this action, did I do it such that I evolved spiritually? Meaning, did I do it selflessly, for instance? Did I make my mind calm? If I didn't, well, then I feel like I lost. Whether or not I actually got bowled, it doesn't matter. You see? So the spiritual person is out there just as much as the worldly person. But they actually have a different scoreboard on the side over here. They don't count points like everybody else. So when the world says, okay, you can be CEO, they don't get excited. That's not their scoreboard. And just now the world will say, okay, we're removing you because there's a younger person who knows AI. Then they don't feel sad because this wasn't their game to begin with. That's the spiritual person. So that is called karma yoga, the yoga part. You're engaged in something spiritual while you're doing your karma. Now, that is a whole science. And in short, very quickly, karma yoga is going to involve now being selfless, accepting results, looking towards the benefit of the world, like that type of thing, and giving up laziness, and making sure you conscientiously every day do whatever is your duty is, like that kind of thing. A whole set, it's a program that has to be studied, right? And what do you get? Well, that's what we were seeing just last night in chapter 5. What do you get by this karma yoga? Lord Krishna says, the person who does this karma yoga well, you know what? He becomes a sannyasi. There's a nice word that we can... Sannyasi means renunciate. And we think of those great monks in orange clothes as sannyasis. And traditionally, in our tradition, we have something like monkhood, which is a poor translation for sannyasi. And those are people who have given up all things. They have no bank account. If you give them money, they have nowhere to put it. They have no house. If you give them furniture, they also don't know what to do with it. They live purely for the benefit of the world. This is called sannyasi. And it is something that is considered in our tradition as the highest pitch of human evolution. To express your own contentment to such a degree that you don't take anything from this world, need anything from this world, you're only there to give. So we, like all things, we've studied it, made a science, set nice rules, the way it should be done, all that kind of thing. And still today you find people who reach that stage. But Lord Krishna, when he talks about sannyasa in chapter 5 here, Bhagavad Gita, which is called karma sannyasa yoga, he's not talking about that type of sannyas. He's talking about the type of sannyas that I just described in karma yoga very briefly. I give up my concern for the cricket match and the points on there, and I'm actually scoring something else. So by giving up The whole concern about whether I end up wealthy and rich, whether I win this innings or don't, whether people will blame me or not, I give that thing up totally. I'm there doing it, but that's not my scoreboard. This is very much like when you play any game with a young person in the house. Suppose you play dominoes. You're playing dominoes with somebody and they're just learning to play. And you're just playing because you're the auntie or the uncle, the chacha, chachi, nani, nana, whatever. And you're just playing. Your scoreboard is that you impart some value, you have a nice memory with the child. That's your scoreboard. Their scoreboard is, I better beat my chacha. Correct? So when they lose, they get upset. And when you lose, and sometimes you don't let them win for a long time, just so they value what it is to beat you or whatever. Like that. So you have really just totally renounced winning and losing, although you're playing. That renunciation of the results that might come while I do my duty, seeking the welfare of your nephew or niece or daughter or whatever, that person is a sannyasi. They have mentally, manasa, sarva karmani, they have sannyasaste. They have renounced all of it. That person who is able to do that and do it well, Lord Krishna says, they are going to be happy people. And finally, what do they get? Who do they become? Well, they start to see the world differently. They gain knowledge, and finally they see the world differently. When you and I see the world, like when you see a nice grafted coconut tree and somebody tells you it's so sweet, you think, can I get one to plant in my yard? So that's what we see. The ashram is in Monrepo Market, across from the market. So every day I hear, what a pound? Means you go and you look at, what a pound? So when we see things, we think, what a pound. And when the great wise people see things, we just saw that wonderful verse, they see all things equally. They're detached from all things, like that. And they are the only ones who are really happy, means free from sorrow. So what happens now is a person thinks to themselves, could think to themselves, if you're studying along this Bhagavad Gita, oh no, the only way for me to get happiness in this world is finally to gain that type of wisdom that I see all things as equal, is finally to be totally detached from things, to finally do things selflessly for others. You know what? I think this is for somebody else. This is not for me. That is too much. You mean to say a simple life with chana and sour and cassava ball and all that kind of thing, that won't do it? That was my plan, you know. If satsang didn't work, we stop in on the way home for something, and I'm getting my happiness either way. You're saying I have to give up all that and live for the benefit of others and one day come to realize all things are made of the same absolute reality? Not me, you know. That is not in the cards for me. I have sheer 5 of worldliness. And, well, if you like dominoes, that'll make sense. If you don't like dominoes, you ignore that joke. So, for that person now, you get a question, Bhagavan, you can't give some practical definition for happiness? Something that even I could do? So after describing the goal that is reached by someone who follows karma sannyas, means living karma yoga, now Bhagavan gives a wonderful verse. And actually, it is the beginning stepping stone that all sadhakas have to do. So if you can do this basic thing, well, you can also do the greatest of things. So see that now, we'll chant. From verse 23 of chapter 5. Now, my pranams to our drummer tonight, because you will suffer a little bit through my harmonium. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shaknoti haivaya sodhum praksharira vimokshana. Shri Krishna Sharanam. Kama krodha bhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Kama krodho bhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. So Bhagwan now gives who is it that's really a happy man, a happy person? What he says, Sa Sukhi Naraha. He is a happy person. Who Bhagwan? He who is able to withstand here itself. Yaha shaknoti sodhum. A happy man is someone who can withstand something. Oh, okay. And he said here itself. Means here in Rosignaw, Berbice, the happy man is the one who can withstand something. Man means person, man or woman. Prakshariranat. And Lord Krishna emphasizes, here itself means before death. We're not talking about being happy after death. We have no such thing in Hinduism. There's no RIP, rest in peace, in Hinduism. If you have to find a little phrase to say about what happens after, it is BRB. Be right back. Means death in Hinduism is not a qualification for anything. Death is just another change like everything else. And for someone to convince you that after death there will be some great future and all that type of thing requires you to really be someone who is ready to put all your stock in imagination. Base your whole life on a wish and a dream. Totally separated from logical thinking and scientific analysis and explanation. Means you're not allowed to ask, but what if it's not true? What logic is there? And is that logic borne out a little bit in my observation? Like that. And what great wise people have attested to it? These are reasonable questions to ask. So we have no such thing in Sanatana Dharma. Death is just another change. That came earlier in chapter 4 and chapter 2. Prakshariranat, right here, right now, you know if someone is made spiritual evolution, and that is when? What happens? They're able to withstand Kama Krodha Udbhavam Vegam. Vegam, they're able to withstand a storm, a force, an impulse that rises from desire, and desire, Kama means longing, passion, all that type of thing. And krodha. Krodha means anger, rage, frustration, annoyance. Means to say, sa sukhi naraha sa yuktaha. That person who's able to withstand that, he remains happy. This is a very practical thing. Now, you will all have an idea in your mind what it is to withstand rage. Mothers know it very well. Means they know that if they really lose their cool with this child, it's not good for the child. And usually it always backfires only. And parents who don't know that lesson, well, they live it out because they grow up saying all kinds of words and yelling and screaming and throwing, and when the child gets teenage years, well, he just or she just like photocopies the exact same thing without the wisdom of the parent. So over some small thing you hear all the same words and see the same, and they do it even better because they're younger. So, but the wise parent or the grandparent in the house gives, no. If you're very frustrated, you please withstand that force. Don't let it come out like that. And desire also. So the person who can withstand that person can find happiness in this world. Very interesting thing. And sayuktaha is the reason why. Because that person has a chance to remain integrated with wisdom. Means you do already know why you shouldn't let the curses fly. You know why you shouldn't. When the force of rage rises in you, you forget. But that person who can withstand for a moment has a chance to let that wisdom come back. And then that whole thing you find another way to release that. Don't put the clothes in the washing machine. Put them in a bucket. Take them outside and pound them on the concrete. And get it out. Anything with a stain, you take it that day and you just let it out. That person can remain. Means if we are given to impulse and reaction, then if you have some greater wisdom in your life or some great goal and all that, you're not going to reach. If the world can just push a button and get you to become distracted and frustrated and all that, you're going to give up your goal. See, there's a stronger way to interpret this verse. One was, that person is a happy person. The other way to interpret it is, that person is a person. Only he is a man. Only he is a human being who can withstand that force. Everybody else is just an animal walking in human being clothes. Because it is too much to expect the little puppy not to bark, not to go after food. Correct or not? He can't go to the library. It's too much to expect from the little puppy not to eat unhealthy food. He can't watch some TikTok and find out, oh, this is the effect of too much salt and this is the effect. He can't learn. So you and I are the human beings. We have the head on the top and the stomach down below. He has his head and stomach on the same level. Too much to expect from him. So if for no other reason but the fact that you have a head on your shoulders, you should withstand. That's what it means to be a human being. Like that. So it's a very strong way of interpreting that verse. Then what comes next? See, and this, you can spend a lot of time thinking about these type of things, right? One man asks a Mahatma, his guru, Guruji, have you mastered your mind? He didn't answer. So some years went by. Maybe the Guru didn't hear me or he didn't want to answer. The Shishya has to wait. Waited for another appropriate time. Guruji, have you mastered your mind? No answer. Like that, every little while he would ask. Finally now, when the Guru is about to take Mahasamadhi and leave his body, that time he turned to the student and he said, yes, And he took Mahasamadhi. And in that he left a wonderful lesson. You don't know when and where from a desire will just rise from. So the headlights have to always be on. Alertness is required to be a human being. Means a desire can arise from a smell. There's so many smells are passing right now. Take a whiff, huh? Anybody got desire? No? Okay. Sounds are always going on. Listen. You might hear, oh, that frog reminds me I forgot to lock the gate. Now the mind gone. From a sound, a desire could arise. From sight. That's why we have so many, if you can't pay attention here and you're a young child, you just send your mind there. And try and memorize what the different forms of the Lord are holding. And then when your eyes, otherwise your eyes will go where? They'll go out the door. And you'll then follow them. You see somebody walking past and carrying a basketball. Before you know it, you've gone behind your mom and because the eyes saw something. Then you don't even need to see and smell and taste and touch. You could just remember. Remember that doubles we had in Monopole? There you are doing japa in the morning. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. It's 6 o'clock. If I go now, doubles will be hot. Suddenly, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Like that. So that's reactionary. But the person who can withstand that and stay where they are and do what they have to do. You can put it like this. I do what needs to be done at the right time, at the right place. I do the right thing at the right place at the right time. And I don't get pushed this way and that way. RT, RP, RT. I do the right thing at the right place at the right time. I like to lay in the hammock and drink tea and eat biscuit when I come home from school. But is it the right place to eat? We leave all the crumbs for the next person who comes in the hammock? Not the right place. Is it the right thing to do? Well, yeah, you can have a snack when you come home and all that thing. Is it the right time? Well, maybe you should first do whatever chores you had to do and put down your bag and read what you have to do for your lessons and all. So like that, I do the right thing at the right time at the right place. And by that, sticking to that, I withstand the forces and compulsions on me, desire and anger and all that kind of thing. Like that. Such a person will be happy in this world. Then Bhagavan adds now, another stroke. If you do that, who will you become? If you do that, who will you become? Now see, that's not such hard advice, that's practical advice, isn't it? Bhagavan now gives us something to look forward to. Shri Krishna Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Yonta Sukhondara Ramaha, Tathantar Jyotirevayah.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhutodi Gachati.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
So, Bhagavan says, that person becomes who? And he uses the word antar, antar, antar again and again. And I remember my grandmother's days. She would call out to the Lord. Hey Prabhu, Hey Antaryami, Hey Bhagavan. I remember in the morning she used to call like that. And as a child, I always used to hear this word, Antaryami, Antaryami. Have you heard it? Antaryami. Antar means inside. Yami means the one who's the controller inside. And here the word comes again and again. Antar sukhaha, antaramaha, tatha antar jyotihi. That person becomes who? One who, for whom all his joy is inside. One for whom is reveling in the self all the time. Means he has his own independent happiness. See how far you can go with this practice. Now when I say in the previous verse, withstand, please be clear, it does not mean suppress. There's a big difference. If you withstand the force of a desire and then engage yourself in something more positive, that leads to something called sublimation. If you just withstand and hold, that is like building up pressure. Eventually it will explode. Not like that. This person who knows how to withstand and engage himself in the correct thing at the right place at the right time, like that, he eventually, Lord Krishna jumps a few steps, he can actually come to realize the self and be happy in and of himself. He is one for whom Antirjyotihi, he is his own inner light. Means the light of the reality which is shining in everybody's heart, that for him light is known and he never forgets. So he sees the infinite reality in his heart all the time. That light is on. His heart is illumined like that. He becomes like that. And by that, he becomes one with the reality. These are big words, the reality and nirvana. He gets mukti, in other words. Big words in our scriptures. It just means he is totally free from sorrow. Of every type and every kind, including birth and death. That is what he reaches. From such a simple practice. Don't underestimate the simple practices. They're tremendous in their ability to deliver to us evolution. Then, what happens there in the next verse? Bhagavan now goes on. Now, I had to go very quickly over that previous verse, but the message in Hinduism is right here at home, you will find Om. Right here at home, you find the source of all your strength. This is the idea in Hinduism. You've heard phrases like charity begins at home? Correct or not? Means you cannot go to school to learn to be charitable. You cannot go to University of Guyana to learn to be charitable. You have to see that thing demonstrated as a child by those around you. Because that involves a whole inner feeling and idea that I have abundance. You can very well go and become a great scholar and get PhD and all that and feel like you have scarcity in your life. You don't have enough. In fact, most of them have that. Fear. I don't have enough letters behind my name, or I can't go and sign my thing on your thing because what will people think? They have all kinds of scarcity. They don't have abundance. And the people who run mandirs know very well. They know this thing firsthand. Because all those who have lots, they're afraid to share. One boy from the Scouts was building a pool for the village. The Scouts got together, they want to make a pool to swim. And so they go by the man with the richest house and they open the gate and they walk along that long path with all the nice trees and they go and they open the door and then the butler comes and the butler says, "We would like to speak to the master," and they wait for some time. Finally the master comes and they say, "We would like a donation for the pool for the Scouts." And the man said, "Of course, no problem." And he says to his butler, "Raju, go and get them 2 buckets of water. They'll use it for their pool." He's not ready to part with, because he feels like he doesn't have enough yet. He can't share yet. And you have somebody who's there living simply and doesn't have all that much, and you go and they're ready to share anything. Yeah, take one, I'll find another one. You take that piece of equipment. It's all right. You know such people? You're only rich when you have enough to share. That very definition of richness. I have abundance. So the man who has nothing to share is poor like anything. Correct or not? By simple logic. So the man in the village is more rich because he actually enjoys abundance. And the other one doesn't have any wealth. And so where did he learn all that? In the home. The big hands of government cannot teach that to the child. So all great qualities start close to home. Faith in myself starts here. All success is going to start here. And finally, in spirituality, I will become dependent on myself for my own happiness. The tremendous verses to study what strength you can get by sitting, going inside. And it takes reflection also. See this thing. Let me ask you a question, right? If you remove all the stresses from your life, what are you basically? One lady said, basically, I'm tired. If you remove everything from I sleep for a week, That's it. What am I basically? I'm tired. All the time, ready to rest. But if you speak to that same lady, but were you like that when you were a young girl, skipping down the road? No, then I didn't want to sleep, I wanted to play. So basically, are you tired or are you something else? No, now that you bring it up, there's something else. It's just covered by like a week's worth of tiredness and then all my work. Then another man said, no. If you leave me alone, I'll just eat, If food wasn't unhealthy and it ruined my six-pack, I'd park myself right in front of the refrigerator and put a TV right inside. And put a long straw and enjoy. So basically, what is he? He thinks he's hungry. Basically, he's a hungry being. But really, after you eat nicely and you have the food that you like, and maybe it's your old grandmother's food, you taste it, and afterwards, you want to eat any more? No, I don't want to hear about food. I don't want to taste anything. I don't want to ruin this feeling. I'm basically fine. So if you study and you look carefully and observe yourself, what are you basically if you remove all the other things? People can't answer, You bring the best of psychologists and line them up right here in the Mandir from all the Ivy League schools, and you ask them this question, and they will not have a clear answer. And they will not agree also. Psychologists who study the mind. And the rishis teach, and you sing all the time. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Aham Anandaha. Basically, finally, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm happiness. That is what I am. The other things have gotten mixed in me and there's confusion and all kinds of, but that's what I am basically. So this whole spiritual program, when we talk about scoring points on the board and all that, is to come to that knowledge, to live that. So the man who withstands the force of all the impulses in life, he comes to understand those kind of deep things which are true about himself. Then labhante brahma nirvanam rishayakshina kalmashaha chinnadvaidhayatatmanaha sarvabhuto bhuta iterataha. Then now in the next verse 25, Bhagavan says, who will gain that? Let me go back again. Bhagavan, tell me again, who is it going to get that antarjyotihi, that light of understanding in their own heart that I am happiness? Who's going to get that? Bhagavan said, but I've been talking for 5 chapters, 33 nights. Who's going to get that? Sometimes when you talk for too long and you go on for nights and nights and give examples, I get confused. Can't you just tell in one verse straight again? Please? We're like that. If somebody gives us directions and say, go straight and make a left and you'll find the place. Then we say, that's how you give directions? You can't tell, look out for the pharmacy, go by the second corner, look out, you tell straight like that? Then when they go on saying, okay, pass one pharmacy, second pharmacy, go before the third corner on your right, he said, why are you giving all unnecessary details? When you said second pharmacy, I stopped listening. You don't know how to give clear directions? So we're not happy with any kind of thing. So, but Bhagavan's a great teacher. Again, he says, okay, let me tell you, and I just chanted that for us. Who is it that gains this reality? He gives 5 different descriptions. 5 descriptions of that person. Now listen to this thing. Will I gain it? Is really the question we have. What fitness is required? First, who gains it? Labhante Brahma Nirvanam. That person who's the Rishi, Rishayaha, Rishis gain it. Oh, well, thank you very much. That's not me. I'm not a Rishi. So, no, not Rishi word we know, mantra drashta, somebody who has seen mantras of the Vedas. All the things we chant, they've come down from someone who caught it from the universe. We call those seers as Rishis. But that's not what is meant here. What is meant, you can also be a Rishi if you know how to think. You can see into the universe if you know how to think. How to think is a big, big thing. See, the other day, and I don't know if we should admit this thing, The other day, when we had gone to, last night was Blairmont. Well, they have a mud track right in front of the mandir. And so we took our little, put front wheel drive car in the dark. And we're trying to see if this trace, can we go? And we get stuck. 10 minutes before satsang. Harmonium still in the car, books in the car, everything. So there we are outside, they were in dhoti trying to push this thing out the mud, and satsang about to start. Now, here is a life situation that has come. How to think about it. So many thoughts will run through your mind. I hope nobody asks why we're late. It means you can think, what will people think? What will I say? Whose fault? Correct? These are the things people think. But the right thing to think in any life situation is, what is the lesson to be learned? And the simple lesson to be learned is, if you're going to go and you're going to run into mud, go rear first. So you have a chance to get out if it's a front wheel drive. Correct or not? If you think all other things and you don't learn that, well, you're not Viveki. You don't know how to think about situations in life. If some problem comes, the other question to think, besides what lesson to be learned, is, what is the solution? Every problem has a solution. I love Guyana for that. If you just look at the bicycles going by, everybody has found a different solution to some problem or the other on that bicycle. They have welded a nice basket. They have put a piece of board, for business class in front of the engine. All kind of thing they've done. And there are different types of, you can do a fundamental fix for something in the car, or you can bring the strap and you can strap it and you can move on as a temporary fix also. The real question right away is, okay, here's a problem. What is the real solution? What is the temporary solution? Which one should I give to this problem right now? That's how to think. But we don't think like that. A man goes every day in his bicycle, he goes daram back in the same hole again and again. Because he doesn't think, okay, what can I learn from this? What is the solution? He doesn't know how to think. But that person who is Viveki, who asks these types of questions about themselves, I got angry, what is the lesson to be learned? I have sorrow, what is the lesson to be learned? Someone has died in my life. Everybody has a grandparent who's passed away. Definitely everybody has great-grandparents that have passed away. What is the lesson to be learned? At the funeral house, at the wake, everybody cries, which is fine, because they're crying for themselves. I'm going to never eat that sweet rice again. They're crying for themselves, because that person who's gone they're already somewhere else. Like you are here now. They're fine. So we're crying for our own, what we miss. That's one point. But we don't get the lesson. they're gone and we're going. That is the clear point. So we should be suddenly reminded and concerned about where am I going? Not where they went. So a person who knows how to think, he will gain this. Kshina kalmasha, a person who's pure-hearted. You have met pure-hearted. If you haven't met pure-hearted people, you please meet our brahmachari at the Jyot. Every creature comes and eats from his hand. Sweet. There are such sweet people like that in this world, and people become sweet and pure-hearted by tapas. They have engaged themselves to make themselves better in some form or the other, like karma yoga. Chinna dvaidha. This person has cut all doubts. So 1, they know how to think. 2, they're pure at heart. 3, they have removed doubts. How do doubts get removed? Only by thinking. There's no other antidote to removing doubts. They have thought and come to satsang and followed the parampara, and they've removed their doubts. There are so many questions about this universe you would not believe. You and I have not even started thinking yet. Big shastras we have, libraries with questions we didn't even think of yet. Think na with me a little bit. There's a being inside. It's called Atma sometimes. There's a being inside. Jiva. Some people don't know if is it there or not. Are you more than your skin and flesh and bones, or there's somebody inside? Which, you have a doubt? Or you know the answer? I have a doubt. I don't know. So I want to remove that. What is the nature of that being? Is he the size of my body, or is he bigger or smaller, or what? I have a doubt. His swarupa is ananda. His nature is to be happy. What do you mean by that? And did he borrow that from somebody? Or is that his what does it mean to have like that? So many questions might be there about oneself. And then about the world also. But does Bhagavan really exist or not? If you can ask that question here in Mandir, where will you ask it? This is a place, supposed to be a place of learning. It's supposed to be a gym for the mind. You come and you exercise your heart and your intellect here. That is what the place is. Bhagavan exists or not? I have a doubt. And where does he exist if he does? In some heaven somewhere? And is he responsible for the fact that I stubbed my toe yesterday, or am I responsible? Is this his very first manifestation? Because I think it could use improvement. I think this was trial and error. Or has this thing been going on for? Like that, people should have doubt. Not what a pound. So the person who has asked their questions, learned and removed them, that person, yatatmanaha, that person who strives also, not a lazy person, strives to quieten the mind, sarva bhuta hite rataha, and revels in the welfare of all beings. And in Hinduism, we really know what it is to revel in the welfare of all beings. We revel in the welfare of rivers, and trees, and animals, and the planet. For us, Mother Earth not a phrase. Mother Earth means this universe is alive and living. And I should walk softly on this planet and leave it better than the way it came, than I met. Like my whole body has all creatures living off of me. There's all kind of bacteria living off of you. And you, because of what they're doing, you're living off of it. So when you eat food, they digest it, and they're not part of you, eh? They're just living inside, swishing around inside there. All kind of creatures. You're living off them, they're living off you, and you're one big being. Like that, the universe is there. And we're all contributing. And I worship this big universe. So like that, the person who revels in the welfare of all beings, from the smallest thing to the biggest cosmos, that kind of bhav they have, he is going to get it. The person who doesn't have these qualities, they have some hindrance in their heart, is going to stop. And then Bhagavan adds one line there. I said labhante. I say they gain it. But he makes a little correction in the next verse. I want to highlight that. I'll chant it. Kama krodh viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. That person doesn't gain. See this very important point. I'll just tell it briefly. If it goes over your head, don't worry, it'll keep coming in satsang. One day you'll reach up and you'll catch it. Right? The idea is like this. When we talk about mukti in Hinduism, this verse says, that person, for them, their freedom is a matter of fact. Meaning to say, they live it. It is existing. They didn't get it at any time. They're free. They've always been free. It's just that's based on their understanding and removal of ignorance. They realize freedom is just the way things are. So, and just now he said that person gets freedom. He corrects it, Bhagavan, and he says, for them, they're living in freedom. Like that. That person who gives up kama and krodha, we just talked about that. Means they are able to withstand its force and engage in greater things. And they're striving for something more excellent in life. See this type of Hinduism, eh? We do not have anything like, if you come once a week and you do your yearly puja, you're good. Till next. We don't have anything like that. This is a path for people who want something more excellent in life. So in addition to going out and facing our battles, we evolve. That is the more excellent thing I'm talking about. They used to have something called Pokemon. You remember that? When Pokemon finally face enough things in life, they grow into something else, isn't it? They evolve. We also hatch out of our selfishness into a being which can care for more and more free. You have come here for that. You have not come for any other purpose. You are cut out for that, made for that, designed for that. Your heart is bursting to grow. This is what the rishis go on saying. Sadhana dham mocha karadwara. This thing is a doorway for evolution. That is why people sit in there in the nicest of offices and AC rooms and they're just miserable. They got there. Their grandfather was cutting cane, getting up at 4 in the morning, loading 1.5 tons on a punt, and coming home to sing Ramayana. And then next generation sitting in an AC office and they're tired at 8:01. So all that sacrifice to get me here, and now I'm sitting here and I can't bear to just put down this phone and look at the file. Let me scroll a few more times now. Life is hard. What happened? What exactly happened? Something went really wrong. How can they have more energy and life and vibrancy than me? And I'm the next generation who received all the things. Because they held deep onto, I'm saying it's because they held to Sanatana Dharma, and Sanatana Dharma is all about, I'm searching for evolution. If the heart doesn't get that, okay, we'll wait for lunch. Why? Because where's the great goal in life? Where's the great goal in life? Like that. Yatinam, yatachetasam, and they keep their mind under control. Okay. Now, at this point, chapter 5 has been completed, and Bhagavan now launches into 3 verses to introduce chapter 6. And I will tell you about that in brief. Let us chant it. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyan shakshushchaivantare bhruvoh pranapanau samau kritvas nasabhyantare charinau. You just have to enjoy the chanting. Not so musical. This is the classical way of chanting Gita. Yatendraya mano buddhihi munir moksha parayanaha vikate chabaya krodaha yasada mukta eva saha bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shantim richati. Okay, Bhagavan tells now, he launches into a little bit about meditation. And chapter 6 is about meditation. We love this idea. We gave meditation to the world. I don't know if you know that. You gave meditation to the world. Without that contribution, the world wouldn't have it. It means other traditions have given up. See, we didn't give barbecue to the world. We didn't give KFC to the world. We didn't give race cars to the world. We gave meditation to the world. Karma yoga to the world. Yoga, so many things. We gave. Everybody has their own contribution and they should know what they gave. So we gave this thing of meditation to the world. But it doesn't come in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. It comes way down in chapter 6. And that itself tells, to begin that, you have to understand so many things first. Meditation is not, you just don't start with that. And those who start with that are not really doing this meditation that is described in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavan says, finally now, that person who has been engaging in renouncing this cricket game and playing the other one, playing the game of spirituality and not concerned so much with the game of worldliness, though engaged in the world, that person gets very good at giving up things. And he becomes ready to make the final giving up in meditation. A different type of giving up, a different type of sannyas is there. What is that? He gives up looking out at the world and he starts looking inside. And not an easy thing. Just, I tell you, if you have to sit here, fold your legs and sit up straight for 30 seconds only and don't move an inch. Difficult. Mind will only be thinking about 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Now to sit in that, leave this body also with its itching and cracking and all that and look inside. Not easy. So what is that process? And what will they find? This journey of searching within and discovering for myself my own greatness, that is what the human being has been. The highest thing you can do, the greatest vocation is that. Please, if you want to see how British have wiped us clean of our own Sanatana Dharma, you see this. What is the highest thing you can do in life? Go to Harvard, MIT, Oxford. I tell you, if you hear somebody from the village has gone to Harvard, everybody will feel, man, they have made it in life. Even if they fail, the fact that they got admitted, it means like something great. And if somebody's engaged in meditation, it's nice for them, but I wouldn't tell my children to go learn that. Maybe after Harvard. Now you tell me, were you born wearing a Harvard sweater? No, where did you and I get the idea that that school or that Ivy League education, all that was the best thing you could do in life? Where? If you trace back, well, you would have heard it from your parents. And they would have heard it from their grandparents. And they would have heard it from their great-grandparents, probably from Bihar. Going back 200 years, this idea has been. And the truth of it, for all those who go to all the top universities, and many of you will be sitting here now, that thing is a big false thing. Everybody there is just as miserable and ignorant and shallow as everybody else in the world. In fact, they just have a bigger ego. And you don't really learn anything there also. I know. I mean, you get a BBA and the BBA doesn't do anything for you. You need to get something else or whatever. The point is, the real highest vocation of life, to sit and go inside, to show that you have really mastered what it is to be a human being, that we don't even value it. And it's ours. And then you go to Harvard to go take a class on meditation because they value it, and they have a nice joke. Here comes the Indian man and Indian woman who's wearing our clothes. They're frightened to wear their sari and wear chandan. And come sit here, let me tell you about meditation. Now, this is all really ordinary thing, my meditation versus yours and all that. But at some point, at some level, it's relevant. I'm proud that I belong to this, and it is a great vocation like that. It involves casting out all things outside, letting them be outside. You don't bring any thoughts of outside, inside. Bring your attention between your eyebrows, it says. Let your breath be even between the nostrils, it says. And go inside, controlling your senses. controlling the heart, which is the source of all emotions, mastering the intellect, which is the seat of all plans. That person who can go inside, he can, what you say, the word used was Brahma Nirvanam. He can blow out his mind. Means, this is the final point I'll share with you now. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, to describe what it is to go inside. For a normal person, he described it like this, It is like the salt doll trying to measure the depth of the ocean. So suppose you have a little, maybe it's a Spider-Man or a Superman or a Barbie or whatever. You have a little salt doll. And he wants to swim and see really how deep does this ocean go. Finally, what will happen? He will find the depth of the ocean. But he has to dissolve himself to do that. And he's not lost. He's there, one with the ocean. But he's not retrievable. You can't get that salt doll back anymore. So to fearlessly go and pursue, what is it that is inside? That's why it's given vigate itcha, vigata, having gone beyond bhaya. The other words we studied already, kama, itcha, krodha. Going beyond that, he goes inside and he finds the self. Now, this is given in short form. The next chapter, chapter 6, explains that. If you want to find out really what is meditation in more detail, well, that will have to be seen tomorrow. That will be seen tomorrow at number 3 Village Mandir. At 6:30 p.m., not 7. So, thank you very much to Pandit Hardial Baldeo. Arvind, I thought it was, and also known as Pandit Arvind, and Pitambaji for organizing. And thank you everybody for listening so wonderfully and bearing with this harmonium with some issues there with it. All right. Few announcements are there before we have Aarti. At the ashram, we have something you cannot get anywhere else in all of Guyana. It is a blend between pizza, which you can get from Pizza Hut, you can make at home, and something called pepper roti from Trinidad. Pepper roti is a roti as big as you, like this big, that they would make at the end of some great function like wedding, and they would share, and they stuff it with so many things. So if you can imagine like aisle roti, clap roti, kind of like that, stuffed with something, with pizza on top, crispy from a tawa, that is what we have at the ashram for you to try. It's a fundraiser on Saturday, March 8th. So it's a fundraiser at the ashram. So we can do this type of satsang. So come out and try that on Saturday, March 8th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then also, everybody is invited to the last day of this 108 nights, which will be in town at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Grounds. It is a big event for the public to come. It will be wonderful to see satsangis from 108 different temples all coming together to listen to the final night of Bhagavad Gita. So if you are inspired by that, get a group together, take a bus and come and see the grand finale of this great yajna and enjoy. Let us enjoy together. Then at the ashram, every summer, we have a 3-week camp on Bhagavad Gita for kids. Everything that is explained in Bhagavad Gita, critical things that are there, we take time every day, play games with the children, and they don't know they're learning. It's a secret. Don't tell them. They come and they laugh and they joke and they play and they go out learning to chant Bhagavad Gita and they learn lessons and values and that type of thing. 3-week summer camp is there on Bhagavad Gita. This year it is in mid of July, July 14th to August 1st. If there is a group that wants to come, I don't see why we can't organize Chinmay Mission cannot organize the transportation. So if you can find a group, we will organize the transportation. Now, in Chinmay Mission, you will find all over the world, there are brahmacharis and swamijis and acharyas teaching. And those who teach in Chinmay Mission have undergone a Vedanta course. And we're very lucky and happy to announce that this course doesn't happen all the time. It is a 2-year course that will be happening next year. No, this year. Happening this year. And it is a chance to study the scriptures, all our great scriptures in Vedanta, in the Sanskrit medium. And from a great parampara that has been teaching it, going way back to Adi Shankaracharya. So if you really want to learn what is it that is in our scriptures and take up this work thereafter, or the life of brahmacharya, sannyas, that type of thing, this is the course for you. But it is not an easy course. It is an intensive course. Classes start at 5:30 in the morning and they end, Swamiji was saying 8:30 at night, but in our course, many times we were out for 11 o'clock, we come home, 5:30 in the morning, up again. Classes all day. And no breaks like that for 2 years. So it's not something you go for fun. You go because you want to learn what is there in our scriptures. So as long as you are under 30, unmarried, and you have a degree of any type, you can apply for this course and come and learn the scriptures. 2-year Vedanta course is there. Chinmaya Mission is offering all types of classes, many of them online. One of them, a very nice one, is a Monday to Thursday, 6:30 p.m. story time for kids. Log in and enjoy stories and that type of thing. All these information is there on Facebook. Some classes aren't going on now. Some will start after these, 108 in May. In Trinidad, there is a similar camp, Gurukul style. You can go and stay in the ashram and see the island and have a 3-week camp for kids or a 1-week camp for families. If you want to get away and you also want to have spirituality and you also want to see what is Trinidad all about and all that type of thing, this is the right thing for you this summer. You come away to the ashram, stay at the ashram and experience satsang and sandy beaches and all that type of thing in one. And finally, there will be a camp in Chinmaya Mission, Guyana for youth, August 20 to 24. That is in Trinidad. All right. You'll see wonderful books at the bookstall outside and small titles like this that you can take home and read. I mean, so thin you could cut your finger. You have to be careful. Not much, but very deep and wonderful books for kids. Read it at night, every night, again and again and again, and it leaves a wonderful impression in their heart. Go, Hanuman, go, advice to householders. Right. Okay. Now we'll have Aarti and closing prayer. Jai Bhagavad Gita Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita Hariya Kamala Viharini Hariya Kamala Viharini Sundara Supunite Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Sakti Hara Maya Kama Sakti Hara Bhava Bhaya Harini Tarini Vikashini Kama Sakti Hara Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Karma Sumarma Prakashini Kama Sakti Hara Tattva Jnana Vikasini Brahma Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Nischala Bhakti Vidayini Nirmala रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवद गीते निश्चल भक्ति भव भयहारिणी तारिणी ओम जय भगवद गीते रजनी मय नाशिनी तम रजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरि रसिका सजनी ओम जय भगवद गीते समता त्याग सिखाविनी हरि मुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ओम जय भगवद गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय मैया हरि पद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर ली जय ओम जय भगवद गीते जय भगवद गीते मय जय भगवद गीते हरि हिय कमल विहारिणी हरि हिय कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते जय भगवद गीते ओम जय भगवद गीते मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव ओम तत्सत
बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की व्यास महाराज की. Thank you very much. On behalf of the executive and member of the Rosignol Sanatan Mandir, I would like to say special welcome to all of you on this, the third night of Bhagavad Gita Yajna. I would like to say how thankful we are to be the host of the 33 night of Yajna. On behalf of the executive, I would like to say special thank you to the Chinnamaya Mission for allowing us this opportunity, I would like to say special thank you to Dave G for delivering so eloquently from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He did it in such a way that all of us can understand, and I hope that we take his teaching into practice, inculcate it in our lives so we can become better individual and make a meaningful contribution to the world at large. With that, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. On behalf of us, we would like to say a special thank you to our sponsor, Mataji Datu and family. We pray that God continue to shower choices of blessing upon you and your entire family. And finally, to all of you from the various mandir for gracing this satsang, thank you, thank you, thank you. Until we reach again, I wish you Sri Krishna choices of blessing. Thank you.